All right, welcome. Well, we are Engineers Without Borders here at UC Davis. So that's what you're here for. You're in the right place. And this was our information session for fall 2020. So just a quick note that all of our operations this quarter will be virtual due to COVID-19, but we still have all of our events planned. So here's some of our contact information too that will also be available later so that you can find us on. And I apologize if my internet is slow, which I think it is right now. All right. I'll turn off my video, see if that helps. All right. So here are our 2020 board members. So I'll have Sergio start introducing them. Yeah, go ahead, Sergio.
Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm glad to see you guys are all here. But yeah, just a quick intro. These are all our board members. So going left to right, we have Professor Colleen Bronner. She's like our faculty advisor, and like she's the one who has the final say in everything and helps us set up with everything. And then Claire Winter, that's our president. She was the one hosting the meeting. And then Neil Carson, he's the one who sends out the emails and other stuff too. So you'll get to see his name a lot in the emails. Then Lauren Chu, she's the external vice president. And then internal VP, that's me. And then Mia, she's the program manager. And then publicity and socials, we have both Chris and Aiden doing with the socials, so you'll see their names a lot too with the socials. Arista, she's in charge of the fundraising meetings and she helps with our funds. And Stacy Long, she's the treasurer. She helps with the money too. And then Aiden, I kind of already introduced, but yeah, he's also in charge of the socials. And then Spencer, he's a graduate student advisor, so he's gonna be dealing a lot with the graduate students. And Catherine and Kylie are both in charge of the technical workshop, so you'll be saying their names a lot as well. And then yeah, for this year, our goals are a bit adjusted to what's going on right now, but one that's kind of always been the same is building a relationship network with our alumni and sponsors. So we want to make sure that we have stable connection with them, and that is and that can be done by like keeping updated contact lists, as well as having a good relationship with funding agencies as well. And then a big one is recording institutional knowledge for each project team and the club as a whole. So for this one, since when we travel with our projects, we want to make sure that we have all our knowledge that we learned from each project recorded. So like it can be passed on to either future projects or future members as well. So we want to make sure that that's recorded well. And then another one is educating our members on their future options beyond EWB. So we also focus on, besides going and traveling, and obviously this year it'd be remote, but in going in our projects, we also focus on professional development. So you're going to see a lot of, and actually this one goes well with create an interdisciplinary club, because like we'll have a lot of cultural seminars and different workshops that'll help with professional development. So we want to make sure that when you come out of this club that you're a well-educated professional that can help serve the community. And another one that we want to focus on for our goals is internal education curriculum, technical logic. And yeah, this one also goes with interdisciplinary, where we want to make sure that you are, like for when we can travel again, we want to make sure that when you help with these projects that you're aware of the different cultures, and that we're making sure that our designs are culturally appropriate.
All right, thank you, Sergio. So Lauren, now if you want to talk.
Hi, everyone. As Sergio mentioned, I'm the external VP for this year, and I wanted to give a little rundown of what this club looks like. So part of our club will be a speaker series. That's where we'll be inviting different professionals who have experience that's relevant to what EWB does. So whether that's serving in the Peace Corps or working at an NGO, or just even an alumni who has been involved in EWB and then now works in the in industry. We're going to invite them to come share their knowledge with us. We'll also be hosting workshops, both technical and cultural skills. So technical could be like AutoCAD or water quality testing or something like that. If you have suggestions, feel free to reach out to Catherine or Kylie. And then we're also thinking of having cultural workshops, which will be more interactive than the speaker series, but we'll be more focused on like the soft skills or almost like harder skills of like cultural humility, things like that, having conversations with people of a different cultural background than you, things like that. We also have fundraising meetings, which focus on raising the money that we need to implement projects. We'll also be having socials so that during this time of COVID and remote learning, people aren't isolated, but that we can continue to get to know each other, ask questions, and just grow as a community. And then we have project meetings, and we'll expand on what our projects are later in this meeting. But each project, the Peru project, Bolivia project, and Kenya projects have weekly meetings, and they will provide details for that a little later in this today.
All right, thank you so much, both Lauren and Sergio. So that's pretty much an overview of what our club does as a whole. So now we're going to hear from some of our project leads as well about their teams this quarter. So starting with our fundraising chair, Arista.
Hi guys, so I'm the fundraising lead, and our fundraising team functions to ensure that all the club events have enough support. And for example, we need to support like the assessment and implementation trips back in the days when we can still travel. And we also raise the funds for some essential equipment and installation materials. Our main goal and focus is to utilize our resources, networks, and grant opportunities so we can bring our club mission to the next level. And for this year, we are actually transferring and developing our goals to better adapt to our virtual environment. So by joining us, you can learn valuable skills such as grant writing and research on the most suitable fundraising opportunities, which is essential for your project and your research in the future. You can also experience brainstorming about online fun fundraising events, and you can even design and organize your own events yourself. Most importantly, as we are focusing on developing our external relationships, you could be building a large network with our alumni and sponsors and even your future dream companies. So as you can see in the slide, in the picture in the lower corner, so when you get to know more people in your small circle, you could extend your network to the next degree and thus discovering more opportunities. So please do not hesitate to send me an email. By doing that and joining us as a team, you're already enlarging your small circle. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Now for our social leads.
Hey there, my name's Aiden. I'm one of the two social leads, the other being Chris. As I'm sure it's already been mentioned, I hope everyone here is doing well in these very strange times. But as Lauren so very distinctly and very well, phrased it very well, as a club, as well as doing academic and humanitarian work, EWB also does like to host socials just so we can get to know each other a little bit better, so we can work a little bit more cohesively, and also just, especially in times like these, it's nice to not remain quite so isolated. So normally socials will be organized every few weeks, every 1 to 2 weeks, and a quiz or a poll will be sent out to determine the best date for everybody. But for this first one, we're going to be hosting one this Saturday night, 7 p.m. We're going to be playing Spyfall, which if you haven't played before is a great game. It can be learned in a few minutes, and the games will last 20-30 minutes. We'll probably hang on the Zoom call anywhere between 30 minutes and 45 minutes. If you're interested, go ahead and shoot me an email, and I hope to see you all there.
Great, thank you, Aiden. All right, now our technical workshop leads.
Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine Carver. I'm one of the two technical workshop leads. Kylie is the other one. we are going to be holding workshops remotely this year, obviously, but we're still going to be teaching you lots of cool stuff. So we're going to be focusing both on the technical aspects of things and the cultural aspects of things this year. It's going to be really exciting because it builds out both your ability to engineer and to run projects and whatnot, but also your ability to be a good global citizen and work internationally. So the kind of things that we'll be doing with technical workshops that we can do remotely, things like Autodesk Fusion, teaching people how to map so that we can take a Google Earth image of the community and create a map of it so that we can figure out where we're going to be placing all the different parts. Travel logistics, so how to, a whole 9 yards, like how to get your passport, how to get the right vaccinations, how to, all that jazz. Grant writing, which is going to be a very important skill that will get you hired. Because if you can tell your company, oh, I can get people to give us money, they will want to hire you. Everyone likes money. And then our community is working, obviously, in Bolivia, so practicing your Spanish, but also we want to really focus on that anti-racist aspect of being a global citizen, because we are going into these communities and we really want to make clear that we're not focused on saving anyone, we are working with the community. It is a collaborative partnership. And so we're working on that cultural humility aspect. We're going to be studying things like systems of oppression, implicit bias. It's really important work. We've got some wonderful professors and speakers that we're hoping to talk to. So I'm really looking forward to learning a lot. And I hope that I'll get to see you there. Thanks.
Great, thank you. All right, and I also just wanted to add that while our club is called Engineers Without Borders, we are not just a club for engineers. Not only do we take students from all majors, but we really encourage people from other majors to join just because it's such an interdisciplinary study that we're doing, and our projects require so many other skills beyond just technical. As Catherine mentioned, we're learning about things such as cultural humility as well. So it's really important that we have pretty much as many perspectives as we can get in our club, the more the better. Outside of technical projects that we work on, we focus strongly on, as she mentioned, on having a community partnership. Additionally, mapping the areas that we're working in, education, both with ourselves in our club, but also within the community. We also focus on things like menstrual hygiene when we're focusing on sanitation and access to clean water. Our projects are very largely based around public health and also, of course, communications in general, which is also why we have things such as Spanish workshops. So we're able to make sure that we have the best possible communication, both between each other, our communities, our engineering headquarters, and our mentors. All right, so we have 3 current projects right now in Bolivia, Peru, and Kenya. And now our project leads are going to introduce their projects and give updates on what they're currently working on. So we will start with Bolivia.
Hi, so Alyssa is actually not here yet. She's the other co-lead. She's driving home right now. So she might make it for the end of the meeting. Could we actually go after the other 2 projects?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. All right, Peru.
Hi everyone, I'm Margaret. So I'm one of the project co-leads this year for the Peru team, along with Jonathan. Our team has been working with a community in Peru, in northern Peru, called La Guaya. There's approximately 250 households there, like 1,300 people. Most of the people in the community are farmers or agriculturalists that depend on like livestock to make a living, to tend to livestock, sorry. I'll talk about the system, yeah. The water system is gravity fed, so we get the water from mountain springs. And currently, like some of the issues that we had in the beginning of the project was that they weren't receiving enough water throughout the day, and there was like coliforms in the water as well. Another thing is that due to like there's heavy rainfall there, so that caused like landslides and debris and to like deteriorate the infrastructure. They have a 30 cubic meter reservoir there, and old spring boxes that were like the whole system was deteriorating. So something that we've done over the years to fix this issue was renovate the spring boxes and add a valve box with like piping, create an additional 80 cubic meter reservoir to increase the water storage capacity in the community, add a chlorination system, add an adduction line that connected the 30 cubic meter reservoir to the new 80 cubic meter reservoir, and renovate the conduction line as well. Yeah, so now the community is receiving water throughout the whole day, luckily. And my partner Jonathan's going to talk about what we've done in our most recent trip, which was last summer, and then also what we plan to do for remote. Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Margaret. So after the implementation trips, the following trip was a monitoring and evaluation trip. So we just wanted to make sure that the infrastructure that was implemented was like working properly and that it was meeting the community's needs. So some tasks that we did was like water quality tests. So checking if the chlorine was at the right range that it should be, checking for E. coli in the water. We also did some minor repairs. So you can see here in the top right, there's the 80 meter cube reservoir. So for an example of a minor repair that we did was cut the overflow pipe a little bit so it can actually act as an overflow. We also did some household surveys to also make sure that the community was feeling well about the system, that they were happy with the project. And then we also did some reports. So like these projects are not, even though like we partnered with the community for like 5 years, they last longer than that. So we just wanted to make sure that the current and future water operators would know what to do in the system. So we wanted to make sure that everything was clear about that. And we also did some lessons at the local elementary school, which you can see a picture of at the bottom right. And then, so for this year, next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, for this year, there's a possibility of us having multiple remote trips. So our partnership with Awaya is in its last year. So we're hoping to partner with another community in Peru. So this year, if everything works out well, we'll do another monitoring and evaluation trip in Awaya and do an assessment trip. So, as you can see, like we need all the help that we can get. So, we hope that you guys come out to our meetings. So they're going to be every Saturday at 10 a.m. Through Zoom. So our first meeting is going to be this Saturday, the 10th, and an email is going to be sent out later tonight with a Zoom link. So so like you guys can join. But if you guys have any questions, just feel free to email either Margaret or me, or just send a message through the website also, and then we'll get back to you. Thanks.
Right, great, thank you. For the Kenya team.
Hi, everybody. I'm Shauna. I'm one of the project leads along with Krista. So this is,
sorry.
Yeah, Krista. And so this is our newest project in EWB, and it's also it's our largest village too within EWB's. Our population is 3,500 people, and this project is located in Western Kenya near the Ugandan border, and it's near Lake Victoria, which is where the community primarily gets their water from. So next slide. So yeah, just a brief overview of our project. Yeah, so it's a community of 3,500 people. They do speak English, but their primary language is Swahili and Luo. And yeah, so their main water source is Lake Victoria, which is the first picture on the top. So as you can see, it's completely infested with something called water hyacinth. So their water is not clean. They don't have access to any potable water or water for their agriculture, and it's a very agricultural based community. So this becomes like a really big issue. And this leads to a lot of like waterborne illnesses and a lot of like premature deaths. And also they all have to travel 4 miles to get this water. So that's also an issue. So a lot of things and contamination can happen in this travel period. And a lot of children actually do have to miss school to be able to help their families transport their water to and from their homes. So yeah, next slide. Krista, go ahead.
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Krista. I'm the other project lead. I'm currently a 4th year biological systems engineering major. So I'll just talk to you guys a little bit about what we did recently since COVID-19 happened. So once COVID-19 happened, we realized that we wouldn't be able to go to Kenya. So due to the travel restrictions, we decided that we were going to hold a fundraiser. And Sean and I initially made a goal of around $900, and we ended up raising $1,200 to help with the food and income shortage within the community. And we found out about this income shortage and food shortage through the relationship we had with them. So because we have a really close relationship with them, they gave us a lot of information as to like how much money they needed and what they needed it for. And they were willing to give us receipts. And in addition to the $1,200, we also got a $1,000 private donation to our entire project. So that adds to all of the money that we have saved up to possibly travel this summer. And throughout the entire COVID-19 fundraiser that we did, we raised enough money for food, mask, soap, and washing stations for 250 families. So if any of you guys found out about the Kenya team through our online fundraiser or Instagram or Facebook, that was us, and it was really successful. So we're really excited to continue to possibly raise more money this fall quarter if we can, and even to do maybe a remote assessment trip as well.
Great. So yeah, just like Krista said, we will most likely be doing a remote assessment trip. So what an assessment trip is, it's the first phase of a project in EWB. So the 3 phases are assessment, implementation, and monitoring and evaluation. So since we are the newest project and we haven't been able to travel yet, we will be trying to do our assessment trip remotely since we're still in a pandemic and we're not able to travel. So what this involves is a lot of communication with our community. So we do communicate with them through WhatsApp. So our goals for the school year are to potentially locate where we will be doing our project. So since the community doesn't have access to clean water, our tentative solution right now is to construct a solar powered borehole, which is essentially a very narrow well that pumps water to the surface. So it uses groundwater. So our goal is to locate where we will be building this, do household surveys. So meaning that, asking the community like how often they use water, how often they have to travel to get their water, and just a lot of these questions to kind of get an idea of the water usage and the necessity and like how often they feel sick, all of these things. So there's a lot of different aspects that go into this project, and it's going to be pretty difficult to do remotely, obviously. So we're going to need a lot of help this year to make this happen. And then hopefully, if travel restrictions get lifted, we can safely travel in country in the summer. So next slide.
Yeah, so you can get involved pretty much at all times. So you can contact either Shauna and I to just get involved with us. We really do need a lot of people, and we have a lot of passionate veterans of like the Kenya team. Shauna and I have been with the team since the first year, which was I think 2 years ago, right? So many people have been on this team since like the birth of it, and this team is very tight. So we would love to have new people. We meet on Saturdays at 11 a.m. and our first meeting is going to be not this weekend, but the following weekend, which is the 17th of October. Again, we would love to see you guys. Like, we're really excited. And hopefully we can get this remote assessment going, but that's our next goal. And that's pretty much the next step to doing our summer trip, if we can do that. But yeah, that's it.
We're really,
do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, we're a really tight-knit group, and like we welcome anybody, and that goes for all projects. So, you know, if you want to do multiple projects, you can. If you want to stick to one project, you can. But like, we highly encourage it, especially for people who are like freshmen or sophomores, since this project is very new, and there's like a lot of years to come. So thank you.
Yeah. Also, one last thing. This is Sean and our second year as project lead. So I'm taking a 5th year. I don't know if she's taking a 5th year, but the position is going to be available soon. The 2 positions. I don't know what you're going to do, Shauna, but just to say, like, that's another thing. The project lead positions will be coming up in the next like year or so for us. So stay tuned. Yeah, that was it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. I'm going to stop sharing for a second to get back to the Bolivia slide. All right, Bolivia.
Sweet, thanks. So Alyssa's here now, which is great. So happy to have all of you here, seeing some new faces, which is super exciting. So welcome everyone. I'm Ruby, I'm a 3rd year civil and environmental engineering major. And yeah, I'm part of the Bolivia project, which basically it's a village in the highlands of Bolivia. It's called Parque Kulani, and it's a very small community, only of about 90 people. And they're very like far apart where they live. Their houses are very spread apart, and they currently don't have, most of them do not have like latrines, and they practice open defecation. So that is our project, is basically addressing that through composting latrines.
All right, and then my name is Alyssa. I'm a 4th year civil engineering major. Yeah, so a little bit about the project scope. Our whole goal is to build sustainable latrines for every home in our community. This is about 25. We also want to be advocates for proper hygiene practices, especially in these times. When we traveled the first time, we realized that like washing your hands wasn't a priority. When a candy fell on the ground, it wasn't a priority to just like to wash it or just wipe the dirt off. It was normal for them to just grab it with all the dirt that was on there. So we want to be advocates for proper sanitation, as well as actually building something. So our design looks like a twin pit latrine. We're doing this to improve the lifespan of the latrine, and also to make it more eco-friendly. With the bathroom, the latrine, sorry, I don't know how many of you guys know what a latrine is, but when I first started the project, I had no idea. So latrine is like an outhouse. It's just a bathroom not connected to a sewer system. So it just falls into this big hole in the ground. So on top of that, we're going to include a shower space and a hand washing station that is large enough to wash your clothes. This is a picture of our design last year and the latrine that we built last year. Next slide, please. So these are a few pictures from when we traveled last year. We built the community latrine. And then we distributed reusable female hygiene kits. This is more for the women during the monthly cycle. It was a way for them to care for themselves, and we also kind of just provided a little bit of knowledge and had one-on-one conversations about what women do, what do they want to learn. So it definitely opened up conversations about birth control and other little things. It's stuff that you don't think about when you're joining the project at first, but when you go to the community, it's conversations that you have to have. And we also started earning the community's trust. A few of them added a couple of us on Facebook and text us randomly. So it was, so the whole purpose of EWB is to, yes, help our communities, but also build a relationship with them and empower them in any ways that we can. So these are a couple of the kids that we saw and a little bit of fun that we had while we were building. But yeah, next slide, please.
So yeah, our goal eventually is to build all of the remaining latrines, and the rest are going to be in households. But obviously we weren't able to travel this summer, but we were able to get approval to do a remote trip where essentially we are communicating with the community and with a construction manager. His name is Poncho. And basically he's going to come into the community and work with the household members and other members of the community to build a latrine with like our oversight, communicating by WhatsApp and everything. So it's a big process, which we got started over the summer with our summer team, but now we're hoping to get more people to join for our fall group because we're actually going to start the construction now, which is really cool. So we are also hoping to create construction manuals for different size latrines in the future. We're hoping to make more hygiene lesson plans to give to the primary school. As you can see in the picture, Alyssa is hanging out with some of the kids from the primary school. Basically every summer when we are able to travel, we go into the primary school and give them a hygiene or sanitation, like fun activity lesson. So yeah, and continue our strong relationship with the community is definitely important, especially this quarter when we are communicating with them so frequently. So yeah, we would love to have you join our team. Definitely a lot going on this quarter. So in addition to having our first remote latrine being implemented this quarter, we're also hoping to design more latrines based on the household sizes. And then we're also searching for a new NGO. So there's lots of things in our project to get involved with. And if you'd like to join, we meet on Sundays from 5 to 6. We're having a meeting this Sunday. So email me or Alyssa if you would like to get the link for that.
And just to add on, if you're wondering about like what type of technical work we'll be doing, we're going to be using CAD, SolidWorks, or just working on Excel spreadsheets. And if there's ever anything that you want to learn or you want to contribute to the team, Ruby and I are always like open to adding it, or if you want to show us a skill or show us a program and start implementing a software in terms of like how we record data and stuff like that, we're open to any ideas you guys have, anything you guys want to input. But yeah, we would love to have you guys.
All right, thank you guys. So as I awkwardly just clicked through all the slides here to get caught up, I also just wanted to add that normally before we're getting ready to travel, we have application rounds for travel applications for the people who will be able to travel in country. So while our meeting teams are all open for everybody in EWB all year round, our travel teams are typically smaller. So while we're conducting our remote trips right now, it is, obviously there's a lot of struggles with doing remote work. However, on a positive note for us, there will be a lot more opportunities for everybody in EWB to be much more actively involved in the remote project because we're not having to deal with any travel logistics. And also, as Shauna kind of mentioned, our members aren't ever restricted to being on just one project team. We have a lot of people who've been working on multiple teams this summer with remote trips. So anybody from EWB is welcome, of course, to come to any of our project team meetings. All right, it looks like everybody is back. So I guess before we wrap up, does anybody have any general questions for everybody that came from the breakout rooms that we can answer?
I wanted to give a brief clarification. So Engineers Without Borders, we don't have any formal membership dues or application that you need to join our club. you can just start attending any project meetings that you are interested in. And then if you're like committed to a project, you can always like apply for leadership positions within that, or apply for a position on the board at the end of the year. But just to start coming to like speaker series or workshops or project meetings, there's no application. You can just show up. So make sure that you're on like the listserv, and then you'll get all the details, or if you're following us on social media.
Yeah, and then something that I also realized, I think I forgot to say altogether. So just to clarify, so the UC Davis is a student chapter of EWB-USA, which is a national like nonprofit organization. So if you've heard anything about Engineers Without Borders before, there's student chapters at a lot of campuses, and there's also professional chapters too. There's one in Sacramento that has professional engineers that do projects as well. So if you've heard this before, we are affiliated with that. All right. Krista. Okay. Oops, forgot to share my screen. And yeah, so we recorded this meeting as well, so all the information will be available later. And we'll also include all the project times and project lead contacts as well. So if anybody wants to be on our main listserv, you probably already were if you found this invite, but if not, just message somebody and get on our listserv to get all of our information. And just to wrap up, there we go. So what can you gain from being an EWB? So just to wrap up, that being Engineers Without Borders really provides you with, yes, a lot of technical skills. You really get to work on hands-on experience with project teams that really impact actual communities and actual real world factors. And also, as Lauren mentioned, being involved in EWB is, there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of board positions, as you saw, and there's a lot of also positions within each project team for leadership as well. So it's pretty easy to get involved. We really love to have a close membership with everybody here. That's why we like to have socials, interact with everybody during workshops. So while we can't be together all in person, we're going to be working really hard to still have an actual sort of social environment as well, so we can really connect with each other and bond, as well as working in our project teams and helping out our communities. And all right, so once again, please just look at our website. You can message us on Instagram and Facebook and get on our listserv. We're going to be promoting all of our meetings and events through there. And yes, that is it from me. So any other last minute questions or comments from anybody?
Thank you, Claire, and thank you everybody for coming. We hope to see you all. Yeah, thanks everyone. Contact all of our emails, like all the project leads again. That's how you get on the team. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, definitely join. And I just want to emphasize, like, this club I don't want like anyone to feel like it's like a school type of thing and it's like purely just educational. Like, this is a really great group of people, and I honestly like really love that I joined this club 2 years ago, and it was like one of the best decisions I made in college. So I just want to put that out there.
Absolutely a wonderful decision. Wonderful club, wonderful people.
Yeah, never feel intimidated. You guys all have something that like you guys can bring to the table socially or educationally. Like, we want all of you.
And speaking of socially, make sure to check out the Spyfall game this Saturday night, 7 p.m. I hope to see everyone there. Oh, I should turn off my mic.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you shouldn't turn that off. We want to hear it.
Yeah, like make me grab mine.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening and a great rest of your week. And we hope to hear from you all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Amazing president.